Nestlé has been around for more than 150 years, built on dairy, chocolate, and classic packaged foods. But over the last decade, something unexpected has happened. The company that once depended almost entirely on animal-based ingredients is now investing heavily in companies that exist to replace those ingredients. It raises a real question: why would a food giant built on milk and meat alternatives spend so much time, money, and attention on startups trying to reinvent protein itself? Across the global food industry, consumer habits are shifting in ways that even the biggest corporations can't ignore. More people are choosing a flexitarian lifestyle. They don't necessarily want to stop eating animal products, but they want options. They want foods that feel lighter, more sustainable, and less resource-intensive. Demand for plant-based proteins, fermentation-derived ingredients, and hybrid protein technologies continues to grow steadily, even after the hype of early plant-based brands cooled off. Younger consumers, especially, are shaping the long-term trajectory of these categories. Nestlé understands this better than anyone, and instead of waiting for the market to force them to change, they've been buying the companies building the future. One of the biggest reasons behind Nestlé's buying spree is protection. Climate regulations, land scarcity, water pressure, and fluctuating feed prices are already affecting global protein supply chains. Plant-based products give Nestlé something extremely valuable: a hedge, not a replacement, a safety net, a second route to protein that becomes more important as the world gets more crowded and unpredictable. But there's another reason, and it's even more practical. Startups move faster than Nestlé ever could. A small team focused on a single innovation can improve texture, create new fat structures, or develop novel proteins faster than a multinational with tens of thousands of employees and layers of approval. So, Nestlé looks for startups that solve specific scientific and technical problems: better flavor, lower ingredient costs, improved texture, more stable foaming, new protein structures, breakthrough fermentation methods. Each acquisition or partnership fills a gap in Nestlé's portfolio, a puzzle piece they don't have the time to invent internally. Another major piece of the strategy is ingredient ownership. This part often goes unnoticed because it doesn't involve big brand names on store shelves. But in the long run, it might be the most powerful advantage Nestlé is building. Whoever controls the ingredient controls the category, and Nestlé has been investing in ingredient technologies across the entire plant-based ecosystem: pea protein development, plant-based fat innovation, fermentation companies creating dairy proteins without cows, alternative seafood creators, enzyme specialists, hybrid protein labs. These ingredients can be used across dozens of Nestlé brands. A single breakthrough in dairy-free fat structure doesn't just improve a plant-based burger. It can improve ice cream, coffee creamers, yogurts, soups, sauces, and ready meals. One startup can influence an entire empire. There's also pressure coming from outside the company. Investors, regulators, retailers, and sustainability frameworks are all pushing food manufacturers toward lower emission, lower impact alternatives. Retailers want more ethical options. Governments want cleaner supply chains. Consumers want transparency. Plant-based acquisitions help Nestlé improve its environmental footprint on paper and in practice. They also help reduce long-term risk tied to livestock-intensive operations. To investors, this signals stability and future readiness. But there's one final reason Nestlé keeps buying startups, and it's rooted in history. Nestlé has missed big categories before. They didn't dominate energy drinks. They didn't dominate protein bars. They didn't own the functional beverage wave. The company learned that if they don't participate early, someone else becomes the category leader. And the plant-based space is too large, too global, and too strategically important to lose again. So Nestlé invests early and broadly. If the category wins, Nestlé wins. If the category fades, the investment was small. It's a risk profile almost any multinational would love to have. Across every acquisition, partnership, and investment, a clear pattern emerges. Nestlé isn't transforming itself into a plant-based company. It's building an ecosystem where it doesn't matter which protein source becomes dominant. Whether the future belongs to animal protein, plant protein, fermentation protein, or hybrid protein, Nestlé has already positioned itself to benefit. They are buying options, they are buying relevance, and they are buying insurance against disruption. So the next time you see a surprisingly realistic plant-based burger from a company you've never heard of, or a dairy-free ice cream that tastes almost identical to the original, there's a good chance Nestlé's fingerprints are somewhere behind the technology, not controlling it, but enabling it, scaling it, and preparing for a food landscape that will look very different in the decades ahead. For Nestlé, plant-based is not a trend, it's not a marketing angle, and it's not a short-term experiment. It's the backup plan for every possible future. And that's why the world's biggest dairy company keeps buying the startups trying to replace dairy.